Welcome back, guys, to another creepy TikTok compilation. And for those of you who are new, welcome, and let's go ahead and dive in.
Alexa, what's been sprayed in our skies?
Nanoplastics, aluminum, and barium are currently being sprayed into our skies. These substances are believed to be part of a global climate engineering program aimed at cooling down the Earth's temperature. However, there are concerns about the potential environmental impacts of these substances.
Are those substances, Alexa, are those substances, nanoparticles, bad for people's health? Alexa, are nanoparticles bad for people's health?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, are nanoparticles and plastics bad for people's health?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, what is being sprayed in our skies?
Nanoplastics, aluminum, and barium are currently being sprayed into our sky.
To me, Alexa is a lot like being a politician, happy enough to put the captain hat on and speak the obvious, but as soon as someone asks them a basic question about the people and their country, they act dumb, play stupid, and want to hide in a corner.
Y'all seen this yet? Allegedly, there's a warm ocean behind the ice wall of Antarctica. Secret photos of another civilization from the 1912 expedition. Based on dozens of well-known arguments and reasons, there are well-kept secrets in Antarctica. Maybe alien bases, an entrance to the hollow Earth, or even a nice big warm ocean. In 1912, a famous British polar explorer of the early 20th century, Robert Scott, ended tragically in 1913. Only a few surviving members of the eminent explorer's team returned to the mainland alive. They brought with them unique photographic materials and perhaps shed light on the mythical ice wall, one of the secrets of Antarctica. According to rumors and legends, the wall passes through the entire ice continent. This is allegedly some of those pictures. What do y'all think that is? Or that right there? Looks pretty interesting to me. Homeboy suited up right here, ain't he? Not quite sure what these things are. Hold on. I don't know. What do y'all think? It's all alleged anyway, but, you know, what do y'all think?
I know some of you guys believe that the reason the Miami incident happened was because of the fact that they got the coordinates wrong, and in fact they were meant to go to Antarctica, but the last clip he showed, the bottom left hand side of that clip, it looks like a body to me.
Breaking news. Listen.
Italy achieves unthinkable world record. No births in 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the entire country of Italy.
What?
They have not seen a birth in 3 months. Italy is seeking to rival Japan's predictable extinction event. So, yeah, they're going through an extinction event because Japan, they said there are so many empty homes everywhere. That's why they're trying to offer it to couples that are willing to have babies because they're not that far off from Italy.
It's over, y'all.
While once we approach this severely depleted birth rate happening as solely the major issue for Asian Circle, not including South Asian, India, of course, what we're finding now is that, in fact, it is affecting the entire EU. Or Europe significantly as a whole.
What? I told y'all.
Except for one country, which we'll put forth later. Unfortunately, Italy recently set a new all-time low where there have been no births in the entire country for 3 months.
Oh my goodness. I also brought up on my live that Elon Musk said since the 1970s that the world has been suffering a population collapse. Listen to this.
No, we have an underpopulation problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you
So
say that?
this is the most commonly misunderstood situation.
Yeah, they definitely push that we have a overpopulation.
Yeah,
why is that?
I don't know. It's just like, I think it's like, this is a holdover from like, I don't know, the 70s or something, you know? So there was a huge baby boom, like where people did have a ton of kids after World War II. But then the U.S. has actually been at the birth rate in the U.S. has been below replacement rate since like 71 or 72.
Seven.
In the US,
like
but
50
how
years.
about
50
other
years, the U.S. has
countries,
been below replacement rate.
I know US, but how about other countries?
Nah, that's
Well, like China's got a huge population collapse problem.
Really?
Yeah.
China, you actually get penalized if you have more than one
Oh.
kid.
No,
Are
you being serious?
No,
So
no,
they
no,
cut that off.
No, see, this is like, so part of it is just like we're operating on things that were true in the past but are no longer true. So
Policies.
China did have a one-child policy, but like about 10 years ago, they changed it to a two-child policy. And then a few years ago, they changed it to a three-child policy. And birth rate kept plummeting the whole time.
Ooh. My people, we already know what time it is. This is for entertainment purposes only.
If I wanted to decrease the population, I would focus on the future. I would ensure that any student loans from here on in will be the equivalent to a 30-year mortgage. That way, by the time they finish their studies, their ankles will be in shackles to the system and they'll be having to play catch up for the next 30 years. I would then focus on the economy and I would manipulate the prices in terms of interest rate and inflation, so the cost of living will be difficult for your average person. I would then gather and buy all the resources when it comes to the food chain, and again I would manipulate the prices, so again it will be difficult for the people. And so once that's done, I would then focus on the generations and I would put them into groups, and I would make men into women and women into men. That way I would be able to control the birth rate and I would make them feel that they're right all the time. I would divide the people. I would try to make every family work their socks off. That way they don't give attention to their children, and so we can dumb them down by giving them tablets and phones and just numb their brains for them. And then I would focus on the health of the masses. I would introduce and create new diseases and viruses to limit the years of everyone's life. And then what I would do is ensure that all the countries around the world send a package worth billions if not trillions. That way we can fund the war, and then once we have prepped for the war, we can then go out, control it, depopulate it, and then set up a new system. Yeah, I would watch out if I was him, because the last guy who attempted to make a car run on water, well, he ended up drinking dilute, and then, yeah.
So one thing I didn't realize, talking a lot about airships, is how they got rid of blimps as well. Showing here just the amount of civilian blimps in Goodyear they have. Now we're down to just 25 blimps. So for a set amount of money, you can rent a Goodyear as an Airbnb. That's kind of swanky. People often get airships and blimps confused though. While blimps are basically just big balloons with little cabins on them, airships are a giant metal frame with many balloons filled in there. And you can see the massive size of them compared to the US Capitol. So a lot of people, when I discuss airships, think they're just blimps, but really they are completely different crafts in all respects. With such a large frame, much versatility came along with it. From the large crew complements, the cargo capacities, the speed, the ability to dock pretty much anywhere, and their durability. They could take quite a beating and still keep pushing. Even when they were brought down, they didn't just blow up, as people would think with the false flag of the Hindenburg. They could take hits to several parts of the structure, lose several of those bladders inside that frame, and still get down to the ground safely. And even when they did go down, the crew would mostly be able to escape. Magnificent and versatile craft from a different age of man. Check out this week's YouTube video where I talk more about them and the connection with Nikola Tesla. It should be out in a few days. I'll let you know when it drops. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
If you're an introvert and you're just tired of society and you're tired of just how the world works, buy yourself an Airbnb blimp, and then that way, well, it's just like a dream come true, really.
Hey, this is some cold game right here. Everybody needs to know this information. Everybody. Check this out.
A Lodio title, you can buy a car, you can buy a jet plane, you can buy a house. A Lodio simply means nobody, including God or Jesus, can touch this property. You own it. Understand that if you're a U.S. citizen, you do not own anything. If you paid your house off, you don't own it. You have an equitable interest in the property, but you don't own it. Only way you can own anything in America and actually own it is with something called allodial title. Allodial, allodial title. Allodial title means God cannot touch it. No one, because it's absolute owned by you. But if you don't buy your car, your jet plane, your boat, your house, whatever it is, and have an allodial title, then you don't own it. The authorities can come in and take your home anytime they want. Banks cannot touch anything that has an allodial title. Government cannot touch it. No one can touch anything that is bought under a allodial title. Queen of England, everything she...
Now, you cannot tell me that wasn't some cold game, bro. That shit was some cold game. That was a gem. That was a super gem, bro. I ain't never heard that word, man. Ever. Like, I've never even seen the word before. To be honest with you, that is crazy that they don't teach this stuff in school. Like, why didn't they show this word in school? On top of that, I've read the dictionary when I was younger, and I don't remember seeing this word. Like, a word that actually defines ownership, I think I would have remembered that, bro. Like, that's wild that this word has evaded me in all of my life. Like, whoa. But it's even more crazy because all of these people out here that's claiming ownership don't even really have ownership of nothing. Oh, you need to own this. I only like to own this. I buy stuff outright because I like to own. But you don't even own it, because I guarantee you 99.87% of them people don't even know what allodial means or an allodial title. For a fact. If anybody start talking this ownership shit, ask them what allodial means, and I guarantee you they're going to start they're going to start doing that shit. But how do we go about implementing this over everything that we purchase? Like, could we sit down at every single one of these companies and be like, okay, I want to make this purchase, but it has to be an allodial title? Like, do the companies even know about allodial titles?
Did that man say that not even God or Jesus can even own it? And what a allodial bullcrap, man. You see, whenever you pass away on, mate, and you're at the gates of heaven, do you know who owns that?
Hey Tracy.
Hi.
What's the worst thing that you have seen?
Okay, the worst thing I've ever seen, I've had a few nasty trauma cases that have stayed with me well, forever, and still have stayed with me. I've got 2 children that were killed in an accident that were particularly mangled up. That stayed with me a lot because I had them in care for nearly 4 months. But the one that really struck me was a young girl that took her own life. This was way back a few years ago, probably 8 years ago now. She was only 26, and she decided to place herself in front of a train. Now, when I got that deceased person in, I got a letter from her mother with photos from her birth to her death, basically. I found out about her life. I found out about everything about her. When I opened that bag, there was not a human being in that bag. It was horrific. There was no evidence of anybody looking like a body. The only thing I found that was human was 1 hand and 1 foot. So you can imagine the trauma that we see in here is pretty horrific. I know the date of her death. It's actually coming up in a few weeks' time. And I know she loved Christmas, and it just happened before Christmas. So I remember her very well, the family, and I still remember, I can still see her now on the table, and there wasn't much of her, just a hand and a foot, yeah. And it's pretty awful. So yeah, I have seen some nasty cases. So that's my worst one that stays with me forever. Thanks for that question. That was a tough one.
You could hear the emotion in her voice when she was talking about that poor girl. I mean, having that kind of job, I would say many people would end up developing like PTSD or some form of mental illness from that. And when she was talking about the train and that sort of thing, the first thing that came to my mind was the Porsche girl. If you know who the Porsche girl is, you will know who I'm talking about. But if you don't, do not look it up, because honestly, it's not a good thing to see. But anyways, yeah, so it pretty much just reminded me of that, really.
Anytime I feel myself getting sick or anything, I just know it's imperative to go raw, and that's how I've raised my kids. They know as soon as they get sick, okay, you've been eating quite a lot of cooked or processed food. A number one thing to improve their diet, I would say, to increase the amount of raw organic food that you consume. Doctors today, they tend to be more coming in after there's already a problem. They don't tend to be preemptive. One of the big maxims from Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, was let food be thy medicine, medicine thy food. That was the quote from him. The natural way to eat. If you were in nature, that's why you don't see osteoporosis and all these forms of cancer in animals other than our pets. The number one way that change gets made is by example. People see other people. That's why every person in this room, every person watching this is a light to their friends.
If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, that explains how actually powerful you are, this ebook will literally unveil that for you. And ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
I honestly think that one of the best things you can do for yourself is to eat clean, eat healthy. Now, I haven't done that myself yet. To be honest, I'm going to be doing it now in a few days. But I do think that's the best thing for you, because at the end of the day, when it comes to doctors, they just fob you off with medication, this and that. And like before you know it, you're taking one piece of medication, you get a side effect. And then, within a month, you're taking like 5 different types of medication. So eating healthy is probably one of the best things you could do for yourself.
The most serious or enriched source of BPAs are things like printed receipts.
I was out for dinner the other night and the server came over and I reached for the receipt. And as I was going for it like this, one of the girls who I'd never met before, she's a creator online, hit my hand away. I was like, are you really going to touch that? This is the first time I've ever heard about this. Yeah. This is legit.
Yeah, printed receipts are a rich source of BPAs.
I guess the lesson we learned today, guys, is don't do receipts. So yeah, I mean, the next time you're down the street and someone comes up to you and they're like, here, you want a bag of receipts? 20 quid, go on. Good for you. Dry you, clean out, boy. It's good stuff, like. Just turn around and say, nah, mate, I don't do receipts anymore. I've done with that. Right. Clip of the wee girl giving the doll its final kiss before putting it on the water. I don't know why, but I just found that so funny. Like,
all right, those of you all that are strong Christians, I'm gonna need you to help me out with something. I need you guys to get in the comments and let me know, because I feel like I'm going crazy, or maybe it's just me, but something has shifted in the last 2 years. There's been an evil that has gone out. Okay, I'm gonna try and explain. It feels like when COVID ended, I thought things were going to get better. I thought we would see people go back to church, things get back to normal. I saw a lot of Christians coming back to the faith during COVID, so I expected this like Christian outpouring. And maybe it's just my perspective because I'm in a small town in Texas, and maybe just the town that I'm in is changing and shifting, and the area that I'm in is changing and shifting. But I've run a very public business, a very Christian business for 10 years in this small Texas town. And it used to be there was a lot of support, a lot of Christian love. I never felt any negativity at work. And in the last 2 years since we've come out of COVID, I feel this intensity of evil around me. And you can feel when somebody hates you. You can feel when people don't like you. And I feel like that has intensified more and more every day. And I'm somebody that can handle a lot of pressure. Like the pressure doesn't normally get to me. I can normally handle a lot of negativity, but there's such an overwhelming presence of darkness and evil and hatred that I can feel tangibly, that I go home every day exhausted, feeling like I got in a fight all day long, like it was spiritual, like it was a spiritual fight all day. And I just want to know if you guys have experienced this same thing. Like, I feel like we're on the precipice of something really bad, a real persecution of the church, at least here in America, because this evil intensity, you know, normally when something bad happens, it pushes people back toward repentance and back toward God. And as we came out of COVID, I felt that there was a shift even harder away from the things of the faith. And I feel like there are far fewer people of God, and I feel that intensity of hatred all around me, to the point where it's just almost an exhausting daily battle in the public space to maintain that very public faith that I project. So, is it just me, or is this just my personal experience, or are you guys feeling this too?
I knew that once that event happened, that was it. I knew for a fact the war was never going to be the same, and it hasn't been the same. In fact, it's been worse, much worse.
What they figured out with almond milk was we can take leftover parts of almonds, and the ones that are broken and unsightly, and we can use those to make milk. And it's just a few almonds and some canola oil and some high fructose corn syrup, some flavorings, and we blend it up and we sell it for like $8 as a health food product. It's not a health food product. So almond milk is high in phytic acid that sucks minerals out of your bones. You have to take more minerals. And it's also high in oxalates, which are the things that are causing kidney stones and things that are causing gout and joint pain when you wake up. Even if you have really bad skin and you're eating a ton of these high oxalate foods like almond milk and kale smoothies and all, this can be why, because it's making tiny razor sharp calcium oxalate crystals in your skin that are coming out. So I don't recommend almond milk. So then we say, well, oat milk. Okay, that is the biggest scam on the planet right now. It raises your blood sugar as much as drinking a Coke.
I find it funny that milks like almond milk, soya milk, oat milk, even like certain vegan meats are labeled and classed as healthy when they're probably the most, unhealthiest processed things you could probably consume. But that's my opinion, I guess. In relation to the experiment, guys, there's no update as of yet. There might be an update in the next video, but for now, it's pretty much just the same. But that's the end of the show today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the Creepy TikTok compilation. Smash that like button and that subscribe button so this video could be reached out to other people. And until the next video, guys, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you then.